if you're watching me for the first time, it's not going to be like this the whole time. It's just in the very, very early game that we have to be so super careful. Once we get, guns and get a little armor, then we'll start engaging the zombies. But until then, we do not want to mess with them if we don't have to. Come on, go after the stone. There you go. Good zombie. Welcome back, everybody, to 7 Days to Die. This is the Dead is Dead series. I am an old guy gaming, and we are going to start up with Life 6. But I got a few things that I want to talk to you about first before we get started here. So, I actually started Life 6 and recorded about 10 episodes with the same settings as before. But I have continually received comments from you guys suggesting that I randomized the Horde nights and not do a Horde night every single night. And I've been kind of resistant to that idea because I want to, the essence of this particular playthrough is to, make the game as hard as you can possibly make it, without actually adjusting things like XML files and that sort of thing. But I got into the 10th episode of Life 6, and I got to thinking that, maybe we should try that. And the reason being is because, to be quite honest with you, I get really bored because all I can do is, in previous lives, I basically spent the night on the road, just running away from the zombies. And sometimes I could stop and harvest a few things, but they'd always catch up with me, or new ones would spawn in. And then, so what I did with this first go around with Life 6 is I decided I wasn't going to go out on the road, and I would just, hole up in a base. And, come what may, we'd not run away. And so what I ended up doing was, finding a stout enough POI to handle the early hordes, but I would just sit there all night with nothing to do. And I couldn't do anything because, I was basically stuck on the base. And after a while, I started kind of getting bored of that. Plus that it makes it very difficult for me to make a lot of progress because I can only do stuff during the day. Particularly when it came, to base building and stuff like that. Because, if I didn't have a Horde night every night, then I could actually do some work on the base during the night, and do the questing during the day and that sort of thing. So, that coupled with the fact that, once again, almost everybody that has commented since Life 5 ended has saying, hey, why don't you do, randomized Horde nights? I went ahead and capitulated, and I basically threw out all of those recordings of Life 6, just hit the delete button. And we're going to start a new Life 6, and we're going to go ahead and do some random Horde nights. So you guys win, but I'm also doing it because, I got to keep this fun for myself too. And I really was just getting bored sitting there night after night and not able to do a damn thing. So we're going to try that. All right, a couple other things. I'm going to use a seed called Investigable Comradeship. I have copied and pasted this from a comment from Terry Beer, who is one of my viewers, and he has requested that I try this seed out, and that it's supposed to be a really good seed with some good POIs, and I can't remember everything that he told me about it, which is actually kind of a good thing. I don't want spoilers. I kind of want to discover things on my own, but based upon what he's told me, this is a really, really good seed. So I figured out, what the hell, let's go ahead and try this seed and just see how it goes. So Terry, this one's for you, buddy. We're going to give it a try here with Life 6. All right, so now let's figure out what our settings are going to be. So we're going to keep it on Insane, of course. We're going to keep it on 90 minutes because that's my favorite time frame for playing this game. 18 hours of daylight, none of that's going to change. But what we're going to do for the blood moon frequency. Now this is a suggestion that came to me from Honey Badger, who's another viewer. And what Honey Badger suggested that I do is that I set the blood moon frequency to 3 days, but then what I do is I set the range to 7 days. Okay, so according to what Honey Badger told me, is that the range applies after the set amount of days and not before. So, for example, just to explain this a little bit better, this is how I understand it. So if it was set to the normal 7 days and then I had this set to 3 days, which is what I actually did for my normal Let's Play series, in other words, the non-Dead is Dead series, I thought that this meant the Horde could come either 3 days before or after. But according to what Honey Badger is saying, it only happens after. So if you set the range to 3 days, it can only happen between the 7th and 10 days, and not rather, between the 4th and the 7th days. So what they suggested that I do to try and accomplish something similar to that is to set the range or the frequency to 3 days, but then set the range to 7 days. So what that means is that we could get a horde as early as the 3rd day, but it could be up to 7 days after that. And because this is random here, we could get a horde. We shouldn't get a horde more frequently than 3 days. So that's the quickest it would happen, but it could happen a little bit after that, up to 7 days. So what I take that to mean is that the game gets to, day 3 and then day 9 and then, day 12, et cetera, or 3 days goes by and then it starts or maybe it casts a die, or, maybe it's just, a random generation thing or whatever. But so 3 days comes along and then it casts a die, and, let's say that die lands on 2. Well, then that means that the horde will actually happen on day 5 in that case. But then the next 3rd day, or that horde occurs, and then 3 more days goes by, and then it rolls the dice, and then the next one could be, 1 day longer or up to 7 days longer. That's how I think I understand how that works, and so we're going to give this a try. Now, to make this more challenging, though, I am going to remove the warning. Okay, that way I never know for sure if the horde's coming that night, and therefore I have to be prepared for it to come at any point in time after the 3rd day passes. Okay, so when day 3 rolls around, the horde could come any time from day 3 all the way up to day 7, and I won't know what day that is until the actual night occurs, which means then that I'm going to have to assume that the horde's going to come and be ready for it, and if it ends up not coming, well, great, then we have the night to go out and do other things, rather than have that warning. So so I'm kind of doing a little bit of a trade-off here. We're not going to do a horde every night, but instead what we're going to do is we're going to randomize the hordes, and I'm not going to know for sure when the horde's going to come until it comes. Okay, so that's kind of my compromise there for still keeping things very difficult, very challenging. Okay, let me close that there. Otherwise, everything else is going to stay the same as it was before. All the zombies are set on nightmare speed, XP multipliers as the normal setting. You know what? One other thing I'm going to do differently this time around is I'm gonna disable airdrops. Okay, so that's another way that I'm going to kind of try and compensate for not having a horde every night. I'm going to turn the airdrops off to just to try and keep this almost as hard as we can possibly make it. Yeah, so no airdrops will be on. We're going to keep it at 32 enemies once again, just because 64 enemies is probably going to be a bit much for my machine to handle. I don't want to lose a lot of frames, particularly on the later hordes. Otherwise, we're going to keep everything else the same as it was before. Okay, so let's go ahead and start the world generation, and it takes my machine, like I said, about 15 to 20 minutes or so to generate the world. So while that's happening, I wanted to talk about a couple of other things with you guys too, or one other thing in particular, and that is that apparently I inadvertently skipped about 10 episodes or so. Actually, it was about 9 episodes, from episodes 82 to 90 in Life 5. That was completely unintentional. I did not mean to do that. It was just basically kind of just a screw up on my, because what happened is throughout the months of November and December, due to my wife's medical situation, and therefore I was home more than I normally would be. And so I recorded a whole bunch of episodes, just kind of back to back. And then what I did was I scheduled them, to be released over time. And also, knowing that I was going to be gone on this business trip that I just got back from too. And so what I typically do is I record the videos, I edit the videos and render them out into folders. And then I upload those folders to YouTube, schedule them, and then I take the folders that I've already uploaded and I move them off to a hard disk drive. I've got like an 8 terabyte drive or something like that. to store them on because, you know, all my drives on my computer are SSDs and I don't have that much space to store that much data. And I think what I accidentally did was that I ended up copying those episodes over to my storage drive, thinking that I had already uploaded them when in fact I had not. So I apologize for that, guys. You know, it was certainly unintentional, but that, you know, that's just an explanation of what happened and what happened to those episodes. Now, I still have them, and if you want, you know, I could still post them up, you know, to the channel, and we could call them like the lost episodes or whatever if you wanted to watch them. But, you know, you already know that how Life 5 ended. So, you know, it might be more like water under the bridge. Let's just move on from here. Or you might want to watch them. I don't know. I mean, they were fun episodes. We had a lot of fun, and you know, I did some pretty cool editing and stuff like that. So you just let me know in the comments, you know, of this video if you'd like to see them, and if you do, then I'll go ahead and post them up there. And like I said, we'll just kind of consider them lost episodes for Life 5. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut the camera, and we're going to finish, you know, letting the computer generate the world here, and then we will get started with Life 6. Okay, so I'll be back when the world is ready to go. All right, guys, we are in the world. And so good news is that we have spawned, not only have we spawned in a forest biome, but goodness gracious, we've spawned in a town in a forest biome. That is really cool. So hopefully we'll luck out, and the trader that the tutorial quest will send us to when we're finished with it is also very nearby this town. So off to a very good start. I punched a few tufts of grass, and so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do the starting tutorials, and probably farm up a little bit of extra wood and stone too, so I have all that ready to go. And then I will bring you back, and we'll go from there. Okay, so be back in just a bit. All right, guys, we are finished with the starting quest here, and the trader is only about 625 meters away, which isn't too bad. So let's start working our way over towards the trader. One thing I am going to do, though, is the first point I'm going to do is I'm going to put it into From the Shadows. That'll be the one and only point that we will put into that, but this does help us survive in the very early game. We're also going to, just like we have done before, try and fast track the bicycle, because that increases our survivability significantly. I am not going to use the bicycle to run away from the Horde at night during Life 6, but I do want the bicycle, you know, to get around in general and help us escape zombies in the very early game. So we need to take Intellect level 2 for that, and we also need to take Grease Monkey. Okay, now we have 1 point left. I'm going to hang on to that point because what I put it in will depend upon the trader and whether or not the trader has working workstations. If the trader has a working tool bench or a working forge, that will impact, you know, how we're going to spend that last point. If we luck out and they do have those, then I'll probably put that point into Lucky Looter. If not, then we'll probably end up having to put it into in engineering. Okay, so let's work our way towards the trader. I'm going to harvest a little bit of cotton here as we go too. Don't really need the red tea right now, but I do want the cotton, so I have some cloth. And I want to use that, you know, to make a bandana and to make some normal bandages as needed, and so on and so forth. Maybe we might even make a set of cloth armor if we can come across some duct tape early on. All right, so let's take and turn this all into cloth fragments. I'm going to get rid of that, and let's put these extra stone spears on our toolbar for the moment. And then I want you to make a bandana. We don't really need... Oh, look at that. That's like the... Is that the library POI? Oh, man, that is wonderful. That's what that is. It looks like it. I haven't seen that POI in a long time. Yep, that's exactly what that is. Fantastic. Okay, that's going to come in hugely... it's going to be hugely beneficial is what I'm trying to say. I can't talk today. Yeah, man, I haven't come across that POI. I can't think of a time I've come across that POI in Alpha 18 vanilla. So that's great. That's really good. Okay. Plastic. Let's grab that for now because we can sell it. There's a pig over there. We can sell it to the trader for some coin early on, and later on we're going to need it for wheels and stuff like that. A muzzle brake mod schematic. This is almost more valuable to us to sell in the very early game. We will eventually come across it again, I'm sure, or just, be able to buy a muzzle brake. So, oh, we got zombies. So what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to hang on to that and just sell it rather than learn it. Okay, now, the name of the game here in the very early start is avoidance. We do not want to engage any zombies at all, if possible. There's a few zombies like that one there that we could outrun if we had to, but then there are some that we can't outrun. So we do not want to be detected at all. So we use stones to throw and distract them. Stones are our friend in the very early game here. And, even the zombies that we can outrun, it's still super risky because in the process of outrunning them, we might run into another one. Right? So, okay, we don't need this right now. We don't need that. We're going to need one more bone. I guess I can sell those. Okay. This we're going to turn into torches because we're going to need a few more of those. Let's put this on. Okay, we got little girl zombie over there. She's very fast, very deadly. She could just eat us for breakfast right now at this point in the game. So let's make sure she does not come over here. I've noticed in Alpha 17, or I'm sorry, 18.3, they don't aggro on the stones. They don't seem to aggro on the stones as much as they used to. Like sometimes it takes 2 or 3 throws to get their attention. I don't know if that's by design or if I'm just imagining things, but it kind of seems that way. I've noticed. Okay, so let's just carefully move through here. We'll keep picking up rocks, harvesting birds' nests, that sort of thing, as we work our way towards the trader. This appears to be a very large town too, but man, finding that bookstore, that is amazing. I literally, cannot think of a time that I've seen that bookstore in Alpha 18 since 18 was released in vanilla Alpha 18. I'm glad to see that it still exists though. I mean, I've seen plenty of Daishang towers, and I think I saw Hagashi once. I don't remember even where it was, but I have not seen the library until just now. All right, so let's sneak around this way. Don't really want to do anything but just make it to the trader for the moment. Keep hitting birds' nests and trash bags as we go. Okay, so she's kind of heading off down that direction. Got our first lockpick, that's good. And we're just playing it really safe. You play the game a lot differently when you have one life to live. You just, you know, you don't take chances, so you don't have to. Now, sometimes I forget that later on when I'm all geared up and stuff and I do stupid things. But you know, at this stage of the game, you really just don't take any chances at all. Play it smart, play it safe, be quiet, stay out of sight, etc., etc. Okay, we actually need to go that way, and there's 2 Zeeks over there, so I'm going to go around the other side of this little playground here. We're not in a hurry. We know that the Horde's not going to come until at least day 3, and on top of that, see, I don't like this because I can't see around those trees. But on top of that, the Horde, the game won't send the Horde after you until you hit game stage 10 anyways. I've noticed that since we started this series. So, yeah, you kind of have to be judicious, I guess, about killing zombies and until you hit stage 10, because the more that you kill, the higher, you know, the quicker that stage is going to go up. But you want to kill the zombies for the XP, so it's kind of a, I'm just trying to be quiet here. You know, it's kind of a 6 1, half dozen the other. All right, we'll grab those. Yeah, see, this is super risky because I don't know, I can't see. We're just going to stay low. It looks like it's clear off that way. I'm going to throw another rock just through those trees in case there is something over there to try and lure them away if there is, you know, if there is a Z standing over that way. Okay. Whoop. Let's move through here. And, you know, if you're watching me for the first time, it's not going to be like this the whole time. It's just in the very, very early game that we have to be so super careful. Once we get, you know, guns and get a little armor, you know, then we'll start engaging the zombies. But until then, we do not want to mess with them if we don't have to. Come on, go after the stone. There you go. Good zombie. Good zombie. It looks like it's clear over this way. Mr. Terry Beer, I'm liking this map so far, dude. Totally liking it. Nice, we got a flashlight and a couple of jars. So, something we could use both of those things in the early game. Okay, let's scooch on over this way. Looks clear that way. Let's be careful cresting this hill. Make sure nobody's around. Okay, so we got to get around to the other side of the trader here to get inside. I hear footsteps from somewhere. Okay, so there's a Nurse Nancy over there. She's deadly. Super fast. Oh, I guess I can't pick that up. So we need her to bugger on off. Go away, Nurse Nancy. See, it's like they almost never detect it on the first throw. See, she didn't detect it that time either. There she goes. Okay. Looks like we have one of the big factories over there. That's probably the Shamway factory. Okay, we clear over here. Oh, I guess we were supposed to go on the north side of this. I was thinking it was this side. All right, so let's scooch over here. Oh, that's a deer. Okay. Okay, we're safe. I still want to be somewhat quiet though, because you know I don't want to aggro zombies and then have to try and get away from them later. So let's loot first. We'll loot and we'll check. We'll check the stations. If we can get a working forge, then I don't have to take that point in engineering, and we can put it in Lucky Looter. Okay, we got some shotgun shells and some ammo. Some bow ammo. It'd be nice to get a cooking pot right about now. Though that's not going to do us a whole lot of good until we take that first point in the cooking skill. I usually only take the first point, and that's all I do. At least on this series. Okay, so no cooking pot was found up there, which just sucks, but actually, you know, it does help us early on because it'll help us to make water much more quickly. But we're going to need it eventually, so... Alright, let's check up here. None of that is lootable, unfortunately. That's lootable. Okay, we're just going to sell that, and I think that's all we can loot. I don't think there's anything up here that we can loot. Let's just double check. Yeah. Okay, let's go down and check the... check the stations. Yeah, there's nothing up there. Okay. It's also noon. Did I just say that? I can't remember. Is that a lockpick? Nothing in there. Okay. There's not... Usually isn't anything in here. This is where the... Nope, that's not where the forge is. Here's the forge. Okay, it's destroyed. Does it have a schematic? It doesn't. Okay, well, that decides it then. That decides it. We're going to take the first point in engineering. And it's not a wasted point. I mean, I would eventually do that anyways. And so what we'll do now is, you know, if we don't find a working workbench, then we'll start working towards engineering 2 so we can just make our workbench. But the number one goal right now is to get a bicycle. However we can do that. Okay, I don't think there's anything else that I can loot in any of these places. Let's just... Oh, we can check this. Okay, do we have a schematic for this? We don't. Can I sell that? I can. Okay, let's grab that stuff for now. I'll probably sell the cement and keep the clay as long as we don't run out of space. Oh. How about a schematic for this? Oh, man. This game's going to make it hard, isn't it? They're not going to hand anything to us. Okay, let's go check the other side. That's unfortunate. Nope, can't pick anything up. Okay, will the workbench work? Or will it have a schematic if it doesn't? It doesn't work. And it doesn't have a schematic. Wow. Really, game? Nothing's ever easy, you guys. Nothing is ever frickin' easy. Alright, well, we're going to do this the hard way, I guess. Can I loot that desk? Huh? We're going to have to do things the hard way. That's alright. That's the way we like it. We like it the hard way. Okay, let's see what's in this car here. Okay, we need... we're going to need the forged iron. Actually, we're going to need the forged iron and the mechanical part. So I'm actually going to hang on to those. We're going to need a total of 5 forged iron. Did I already check this garbage? I can't remember if I did or not. I did. Okay. Well, alright. Now we know what we're up against. And we got the attention of a wolf, which isn't ideal. Alright, Trader Bob.
We sell only the best merchandise.
So, here's the thing. We've got 2 chances at open Trader Bob's safe. Let's try it. If it doesn't work, we'll come back and rob him later. I mean, borrow from him later. Come on, RNG. Be on my side for a change. Come on, come on, come on, come on. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. I have faith. You can do it. Oh, man. Look at that, you guys. Okay. So the game's making up to us a little bit. I mean, I would have preferred to have, you know, a shoddy or a, you know, or an AK, but that's okay. That's okay. At least we have a gun of some sort. All right. Now, what I want to do with you is we're going to sell the club because I just don't do melee, at least not in the very early game. So yeah, we'll get 169 coin for that. Sell. Oh, he doesn't want it. Son of a. Okay. Well, we'll sell the silver. Damn. Okay. Let's sell these. Well, we can actually make arrows out of those. So let's sell the cement. That's all he wants. Okay, well, we'll keep that. Okay, we'll sell the trophy. I don't think he'll buy these. He'll buy cans, but actually I'm going to scrap those and make a couple of junk turret ammos out of that, since we have a junk turret. He doesn't want the dye, and neither do I. Paper. Let's sell as much paper as he'll buy. I'll hang on to the rest of that for now. He doesn't want lead. We don't need lead for a while. We'll sell the plastic. We'll sell the doorknob. We're going to sell the... Yeah, I'm going to sell that. We'll come across it again. He'll buy 10 of those. That we're going to scrap. And I think... Will he buy those? No. So we'll scrap those too. Okay, so that gives us 304 coin. He's got a mining helmet for 640. And so we have 4 days to double our money and a little something to get that. So we're going to work for that. And you know, we'll be able to do that from buried treasure quests. The thing about buried treasure quests, though, is they're actually very dangerous on nightmare speed if you don't have a bicycle. So I probably will not be attempting those until we have a bicycle. Unless, you know, we come across some serious firepower, you know, between now and then. Secret stash, what does he have in here? Okay, some good stuff, but probably nothing that's really going to help us or that we can afford early on. He does have shotgun shells. He does have 7.62s. Double barrel shotty, but yeah, that's a bit out of our reach right now. I sure would like to have one of those though, but we're going to come across one eventually. It'll happen. It'll happen, man. It'll happen. Do you have any duct tape? No. Do you have any glue? No. Okay, that sucks. We've got an expensive claw hammer. Alright, well, I think that's about all we can do for him. Oh, you know what? Let's actually take his buried treasure quest. So this one is 254 meters to the south. I have no idea what the terrain around here looks like, so we'll take that. And we'll do it as soon as we can do it. Okay, so we're going to scrap this. We're going to... I might hang on to this and try and sell it to, you know, if we find another trader, or try and sell it when he resets. Because, I mean, you know, that's pretty good coin for the very early game. Let's put the coffee down here in case we need an emergency blast of stamina, which we probably will at some point. We're going to save the Molotov. We're going to save the bones. Okay, so the problem that we have, obviously, is that we're a bit encumbered right now. So, what I think we'll do is we'll leave the trader. We're probably going to put a drop chest down so I can, so I can offload some of this stuff. Because we definitely need maximum speed this early on. But we have enough coin here. Actually, you know what? Let's take a look and see. Oh, I didn't loot this. Nothing. What has he got for food in here? Okay. So this restocks on day 2. That would take a little less than half of our coin. I think that's what we should probably be spending our money on right now. So let's do it. Let's do it. I mean, we'll probably earn enough coin to buy that mining helmet just from doing 1 buried treasure quest when the time comes. Maybe 2. We'll see how it goes. Did I hit this, here? No. Okay. You know what we could do, now that I think about it, is we could actually stash some stuff here. Yeah, let's do that. So stuff that we don't need immediately. We don't need that immediately. We don't need that immediately. What else? We don't need the paper. We don't need the mechanical parts now. We don't need the forged iron. We don't need the cement. We don't really need the clay soil. Well, we are going to need clay soil to make our forge. But I'm not planning on moving too far away from the trader. We're going to try and find a place close by. Okay, so that removes our encumbrance. This could help get us out of a pickle. This is going to, well, that's going to be replaced with a bone knife once we get 1 more bone. We need to keep those. We're going to turn these into junk turret ammo. I'm just going to put that in there too. Alright, I want to keep the food with me. And let's put this on our toolbar for a second and load it up. And actually, we're going to keep that on our toolbar. So I'll put an extra spear up here. Let's turn these into arrows. And that frees up a spot and gives us a nice little stack of iron arrows. Let's load that up. I want to put the hunting rifle down here and get it loaded. And I think we're good to go. Okay, so now the next step here in our adventure is to wrap up the episode because we're out of time. I know, what a bastard move, huh? No, we're going to wrap up the episode, guys, and then we are going to... Oh, yeah, that's really close by. We're going to find a place to live. That's the next step, and I want to stay really close to the trader, so we're going to scope out these POIs here and see if we can figure out what makes the most sense. So we're right close to the trader because we're going to be doing a lot of questing stuff later on, so we want to be near the trader. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, share out the video. Let me know, like I said earlier, if you did when I did the prologue, if you want me to release those 9 episodes for Life 5 that I skipped over inadvertently, and I will do that. If you guys want me to do that, just let me know, and we'll continue on with this life and have more fun. All right, see you in the next episode. Bye.